Ladies and gentlemen, these are 10 ways that you're traveling wrong to Australia.
My name's Elise, I grew up in Australia.
I'm Russell, I'm from Tasmania.
I lived there my whole life until I moved here. Number 1, walking while looking at your phone.
Oh my gosh, like people will get so annoyed with you. People will actually say, eyes up, you're in my way.
Especially if you're in a big city like Melbourne or Sydney and the CBD where it's like, that's the central business district and people are like trying to get somewhere, be aware of where you're going.
Number 2, driving aggressively. Bad idea. Like you'll easily annoy the hell out of people.
Indicating, it's really important to use your indicator, otherwise people will get really mad. Yeah, we have a big culture of like safety and road safety specifically in Australia. If you're speeding, you probably will get a ticket. Same for if you're texting and driving or anything like that. We have cops in cars, in the air, on bikes, on horses.
Yep.
Yeah, they'll get you.
There are even cops that flap their wings.
Yeah.
They don't have wings. Tailgating, seriously don't do it. Like people will follow you and to your destination and then give you an earful or potentially result up in a fight, maybe. And bloody oath, mate, we swear a lot.
What's up? Bleep that.
Yeah, we do drop the C-bomb. A lot. If you're getting a word like that used at you in that way, it means that
you've been accepted.
Yeah, you're one of us.
Number 3, saying g'day mate.
You can't say g'day mate. Just don't.
Well then, g'day mate. Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
We don't even call them shrimps, they're prawns.
Prawns, mate. Prawns.
Saying like g'day mate when you first step foot in Australia, is it if like you got to LA and you're like, howdy y'all?
Do you say g'day?
I guess like further into the city you go, the less common it is, but also the deeper into the outback you go, the more common it is for like people around to be saying.
Number 4, overlooking the Aboriginal side of Australia.
Yeah, Australia has a super rich Aboriginal history that it's definitely like worth learning about when you go there. Like for example, we have 2 flags and we also have an Aboriginal flag that's red, black and yellow. If you're at an event or something, we always try to acknowledge the land at the top of like any sort of ceremony or event. So that's just something that's like a part of Australian history.
So I would research it just so you have a bit of an understanding of the Indigenous cultures. And also so that you don't put your foot in it and sort of say to the person next to you, what are they doing? What are they saying? Like, otherwise it may not make sense and you might look like an idiot.
Number 5, peacocking.
I'm making it, no, that's not a peacock. That's peacocking.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we don't really like lead with like career really. If you're like, hi, what's your name? What do you do? It's just like, what's your angle here? Like, what are you trying to do?
Just, they want to know you as a human. Don't pitch your friend. Don't show them their LinkedIn profile to the person when you're introducing them. As a culture, people there don't need to hear or want to hear you exaggerating or boasting or basically speaking above everybody else. They'll just look at you and be like, who the hell do they think they are?
Yeah, there's not like really a strong competitive sort of like culture.
No. Number 6, ignoring beach signs. Are you crazy? The currents in Australia are out of this world. We had a show that was set up called BONDI Rescue, which is simply all about tourists being dragged out into the ocean and almost or either dying.
We've got lifeguards and big flags up at the beach. You're supposed to swim in between the flags. If you go outside the flags, you might get caught off in a rip. That's something I used to fear about as a child a lot, getting caught off in a rip and never coming home. And
also swamps, rivers, lakes, especially in the northern part of Australia, crocodiles are a thing, and usually there's no people around to actually supervise you in those water areas. So if there are no signs or no one has told you that you can't swim in there or they haven't told you it's crocodile free, don't swim there.
Number 7, going to a chain for coffee.
We have so many amazing coffee shops, cafes that all specialize in barista-made coffee. Some of the best in the world, arguably.
Yeah, and like most of the great cafes are like mom and pop shops. They're like independently owned cafes. And when you go into one of those, you don't want to order a coffee because that could be anything. You order a flat white or a cappuccino or a latte. Coffee's like, what is that? That's like going to a juice place and ordering a juice.
Yeah, if you just want a black coffee, don't order an Americano. They all just look at you and go, you want a long black? That's what that is. Long black is an Americano.
Oh, a flat white is much like a latte, but like a little less foam. That might not be true. I get into contentious debates about what a flat white really is.
I don't know if we should comment on it simply because people get very up and ante about it.
No one really knows what a flat white is, but it's delicious and you should get one.
Number 8, Ubering everywhere. They're expensive in Australia. You'll be actually really surprised.
And because a lot of our cities are like pretty big and Australia is like sprawling, you could be going from the city back home to the suburbs and it's a larger distance than you would think.
Oh yeah, easily. And I mean, in like main cities like Sydney and Melbourne, we have fantastic public transport systems. In Sydney, for example, you can actually get a weekly pass for 50 Australian dollars. From Monday to Friday, it'll give you unlimited travel. But make sure you actually purchase your transport card ahead of time. It'll just save you a lot of hassle.
And we also have like undercover cops that aren't actually cops that go on the public transport to catch people out. So you gotta make sure you got a ticket.
Yeah.
Number 9, approaching a kangaroo in the wild. Or anywhere really.
Yeah, totally, especially anywhere. I mean, they can grow, like a big red can grow up to 6'5".
Even like the little ones, they've got really strong, like punchy things, and their tails are really strong as well. They can do some serious damage.
Yeah, people get kicked in the abdomen and it'll open you right up. The kicks are ridiculously strong, and a lot of the time it actually happens because of people feeding them. I would say to you, in general, just don't feed animals in Australia unless it's in a sanctuary.
Yeah, a lot of the cute Australian animals are like more sturdy than you would think, like wombats as well. They're a big, heavy thing. They're cute, but like you don't want to, if you hit one with your car, it's going to do some damage. Koalas can be aggressive as well.
Yeah, koalas don't actually like to be cuddled or hugged. You know, I wouldn't do it in the wild. Their claws are ridiculously huge. If it's in a sanctuary, like just basically make sure you're listening to the rules of regulations of the sanctuary and how to actually interact with the koalas. Most of the times they'll just let you pat them rather than holding them because they actually find it distressful.
Yeah, they just want to be in their gum trees.
Number 10, feeding the seagulls.
Yeah, if you go to the beach with a packet of chips or a fish and chips and you feed the seagulls, there'll be 1 second, and then next minute a whole gaggle of seagulls.
Yep.
You've ruined the whole beach's experience.
Yep, they tell all their mates, they get it on their seagull phones and they say, oi, there's some stupid tourist over here who just fed me. Come on, let's go eat.
Mine.
And everybody around you will get hassled by the seagulls. The bin chickens, also known as an ibis, they have these ridiculously long beaks on them, and that's for actually, you know, like getting their, like scavenging, and they go through trash cans or bins over in Australia. They'll do the same thing to you. So again, it kind of goes back to the rule of just don't feed animals.
Australia is a big, expansive, beautiful country that you should definitely visit. You can see beaches, you can see the outback, you can see mountains.
And there are beautiful places to go other than the well-known cities of Melbourne and Sydney. Places like where I'm from, Tasmania. A lot of people skip it off. The West Coast, Western Australia, over in Perth. There are beautiful landscapes that you probably don't know that well, and it's a whole new world.
If anyone is watching this from Australia and you have any extra tips, please leave them in the comments below. Or if you are a foreigner who's visited Australia and found yourself in a situation that's a little sticky, let us know about that too.
Yeah, or please correct us on exactly how to make a flat white.
What is a flat white?
Yeah, I can't remember.